For years, the Grand Opera House in Macon has worked to diversify its performers. Leaders tell me they really want those on the stage to reflect the people in this community. So one gentleman I talked to is no stranger to the stage now, but as you'll hear, he is part of the change to create a more welcoming space for everyone.
It gave me a voice. I didn't know what the voice I had.
For Dsto Moore, a black performing artist, every visit to the Grand Opera House is special.
Where I grew up and the people around me, we weren't never really into the arts.
He doesn't remember much about his first visit. He was just a second grader then. You see, this wasn't exactly a place Moore's family thought to stop by, but after his second visit, decades later, Moore realized just how impactful this place really is to him.
First, it was a culture change. I didn't understand the music at first.
His desire to learn more fueled his frequency to this magical place.
Being able to bring my kids on my journey with me to learn too. I'm learning as well, they learn, so we learn together. After
some time, he made the courageous move to leave his comfort zone in the audience and come on the stage, telling the story of his life growing up in Macon.
We came up with the idea to tell the story of Pleasant Hill. It was an interactive play showing like people who lived in Pleasant Hill at one point, and it's a way to bring the community together.
One of his biggest successes with this show, he says, is helping save Dr. E.E. Green's home from demolition. You'll remember Green was one of Macon's first black doctors, and that, Moore explains, is why it's important to share more black stories on the big stage.
Like sometimes stories not being told. A lot of those stories, when people die, the story fades away.
In a city where at least 55% of the population is black, Julia Morrison with the Grand Opera House says they want their productions to reflect that.
We have been really intentional since the pandemic of saying, how do we welcome every person into these doors?
And one way to do that is introducing more stories like Moore's. Another is to feature performances with cultural storytelling, humor, and involvement from the audience.
We really want our school students to see adults who are successful, confident, and learn about their history and be proud of their history and their culture.
Morrison says this is not just for Black History Month. It's year-round. In April, the Grand plans to feature a traveling show called Step Africa, explaining the history of step dance. She believes the show could have a lasting impact on the audience, especially children.
It might be that you see a step pattern at a tailgate at a football game, and then you are able to connect that and link that to percussion that came from West African countries.
Unlike Moore, his two kids are getting a head start learning about their family and culture. They watched from the audience, sitting beside their 100-year-old grandfather.
He couldn't believe it because how he grew up, he was born in 1921, how he grew up, it was impossible to see that.
The power of the past and the future converging in the present. What a powerful story he has. Dsto was so inspired by this place, he is now an official tour guide now. The Step Africa show that was mentioned is happening April 22nd at 7:30 in the evening. And to learn more about behind the scenes at the Grand Opera House, look for this story on 13WMAZ.com.